All right. Good morning, LaDon. How are you?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to go mud bogging today?
Nope.
Oh man, that road was really bad that day.
Wasn't.
We're
Yep.
gonna wait a couple of more minutes. It's we're only a minute and 27 seconds in, and see if we get anybody to join us live. If not, wait about another minute or two. But while we wait, how is it over there at the senior building over there?
It's I think there's been a lot of foot traffic. Maybe it's because the center opened, and I'm just now noticing, voices and people talking, and which is good. And kind of forget that they've opened up, but I'm pretty used to it now.
Yeah, because it's been pretty quiet over there for you guys while it's been closed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's good to know that they're back at the building and people are, showing up, because they weren't expecting a lot of people to show up when they reopened it. So the fact that they are is a good thing. Sorry, yep. My throat is a little bit froggy because of my allergies. So.
Yep. So I've been having computer issues, and I'm really noticing. I changed to my personal computer, and I can't believe how clear it is. So.
Oh, on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Usually, I just don't even notice the clarity, but I got a good computer.
Well, at least a good camera, right?
Yep.
Yeah, these computers aren't really designed to do what we do with it, with them live streaming and things like that, because the operating systems and the video cards inside them are not designed for continuous live streaming. But some of the newer computers come stock with those items. So.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I might excuse myself a little bit early before podcasting.
Okay. Well, we're going to start now. We just have a little bit of information to cover about COVID. We've gotten a lot of questions from community members and folks, talking about Monkey Pox, because it's become a big topic now. The numbers in the United States are quite high from where they were in the past. So I wanted to kind of give some basic information about that. But we're going to go ahead and start with, let me get this hotline number off the screen so people's faces aren't covered. Not that Thelma would mind, but her face was the one that was covered. Anyway, so good morning, everybody. Today is October 20th, 2022. The time is 11:04 a.m. and welcome to our weekly presentation of Health and Human Services updates for the department, or for the Pueblo San Ildefonso, as well as the COVID-19 update. We're still running those because there are still active cases and still concerns by members of the community. So we want to make sure people are updated with what's going on. So today we have we have several members of the COVID response team in the Department of Health and Human Services. Ladon Yazi, Claudia Lente, and Thelma Gonzalez, as well as myself. Some people might join on a little bit later to provide parts of the department updates, but as of right now, for the COVID piece, we're going to go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do today, like I talked about, they're going to give the COVID-19 update, the state of COVID in the community. Also talk a little bit about where we are as a state with regard to COVID-19 and transmission rates and numbers, things like that. The new COVID variants that are making their way around the news and the public health conversations because of the expectation of an explosion of COVID cases during the fall and winter months. We want to kind of talk about what's being reported out there for that. And like I said earlier, monkeypox has become more of a conversation. Not that there's a major concern about it in the United States, but just to give people an idea. So if they hear about it, they can kind of be aware of where we stand as a state with regard to the monkeypox virus and its transmission in the state and the country. And then we're going to talk a little bit about any updates or ideas or concerns or input from the other department or other programs within the department, because COVID isn't the only thing that we do. We do a lot more than that. So we want to talk about those things as well. So, and we'll get started. So as of this morning, the current COVID case count for the Pueblo is 6. We have 6 active cases, with 2 of those cases coming in this week, which is the beginning of the week's week. You use Sunday as the beginning of the week. So with this week, we we've had 2 new cases. And in the past 7 days, because we kind of have the executive order that we watch regarding the rolling 7-day count within a 21-day period with regard to what phase of reopening we are, just in case we needed to go back to a previous phase. So we kind of monitor how many cases in the past 7 days there have been, and for this period of 7 days between this Thursday and last Thursday, we've only had 2 cases, 2 new cases for the community. Those new cases, these 6 cases, brings our total case count since the beginning of the pandemic for the Pueblo to 325 cases. To the right of that, I have the number of cases that were identified the last time we did a presentation, which was the 6th of October, 2 weeks ago. You can see that there's been 13 cases since the last update, which was 13 days ago, and it brings our total recovered cases also to 317. So we're still hovering somewhere between 3 and 7 cases on average over the past month or so, 2 months. Most of it is being fueled by positive cases in the schools, where the virus is being contracted and then passed on to family members. We haven't had a lot of major medical or serious health conditions, with the exception of one in the past month or so. So it's still, an issue for the country and for the state. But we're not seeing a lot of serious illness or death, at least not here in the Pueblo. So on that note, kind of want to look at the numbers for the state. So this is the epidemiology numbers from yesterday, the number of cases for the state of New Mexico. 356 new cases were reported on that day, with 104 individuals hospitalized and 5 people on ventilators and 6 new deaths. And again, going back to October 5th, which is the last day I had numbers. The hospitalization rate is a little bit higher, the numbers from the last time we reported it, but the death rate and death rate is lower, and the ventilations, people on ventilators are right around the same. So, um, like like we always report the most important numbers that we need to take into consideration with regard to COVID aren't necessarily new cases. It's more so how it's affecting people, meaning if they're being hospitalized, how serious the hospitalizations are, and how many deaths are coming from the current state of COVID in the state of New Mexico. And it looks like it's hovering right around the same numbers. It's not spiking too much. But again, you're looking at a third of the cases that are reported that are active right now, or sorry, not active, but third of the cases, um, active cases. You're just looking at about a third of that being having hospitalized folks. So, um, the southeastern portion of the state is looking a lot better than the northern portion of the state. You see that the transmission rate is determined on the map by the color of the county, and it looks like it's taking the northwestern and northern portion of the state a little longer to lower, have a decreased transmission rate in the community, because this is based on community transmission. So between October 4th and October 12th, this is what it looked like. And right here in this upper center corner where my cursor is right here, Santa Fe County, you can see it's still red, so it's still showing a high transmission rate. So is Los Alamos County, which is to our north there, and Rio Arriba County, which is also to our northeast, that we kind of cross quite frequently. They're still red. So the area that we occupy and function in and shop in and go to still has high transmission rate in the community. So just wanted to make sure that that was clear. People were aware of that. So there's a bunch of new subvariants for COVID that that the public health and medical professionals are somewhat concerned about, because they create a little bit of a concern as we go into respiratory illness season, which is the fall and the winter. Currently, the BA.5 subvariant is the dominant variant in not only the United States, but also in the state of New Mexico. The BA.5 variant makes up about 65 to 70% of the cases currently. However, there is a new subvariant, which is the BA.4.6, which is making up 9% of the cases in the United States. And apparently, this one is a lot better at evading immunity than the BA.5. I know that we've talked about this in previous updates, that BA.5 was spreading quite frequently when it started to emerge, and that it evades immunities. And what it means by evading immunities, that's for people who have the original COVID-19 vaccine, as well as those who have the original booster, because BA.4, BA.5, BA.4, BA.4.6, all of these are Omicron subvariants. And so if you were to get the updated Omicron booster shot, you will have a little bit more protection against serious illness or death than if you had the original booster or just the two primary series. The one that they're looking at that is quite disturbing, well, there's two of them, but the one that they're looking at that's not really shown its reared its ugly head in the United States is XBB, which is it is a subvariant of Omicron that originated in Europe. Singapore is currently experiencing an extremely high spike. and they're saying that it's extremely immune evasive. So if you've had a prior infection from Omicron, um, or any other variant, they're saying that this one has the ability to evade those even prior infection immunities, as well as some of the antibody drugs that are out there. So um, this is one that they're looking at, a subvariant of XBB, which is XBB.1. It's currently in the United States, but as is on the screen, it's only 0.26% of the cases that were sequenced during this past 14-day period were showing up as this variant. So those were two new subvariants. But if you look at the ones on the bottom, so these are actually offshoots of the BA.5 Omicron variant. So the one that's currently in the United States, the one that's the majority or the primary subvariant, the BA.2.75.2, BQ.1, BQ.1.1, those are also concerning to the medical profession, the medical community going into the respiratory illness season. BQ.1.1 is about 10% of the cases in the United States, and it has exceeded what BA.5 has shown with regard to evading antibodies or immunity from previous infection. Also from some of the antibody drugs that are out there, people who have immunosuppressant conditions that are taking antibody drugs. It has the ability to evade some of those antibodies that were created from those drugs, as well as the original vaccine and original booster shot. So that the most recent booster shot that came out, they are recommending, of course, that you get that booster because it will provide a little bit more protection against serious physical illness or death, hospitalization, than the original strain and the original booster. The good news is that none of the current variants seem to demonstrate that they have a greater severity of illness or risk of hospitalization or death than all previous ones. It seems like that it's a lot more, it spreads a little bit more quickly because it can evade certain levels of protection than the previous subvariants. So I just wanted to put that out there because some folks will probably start hearing that stuff on the news, and we want to say that we are watching out just like everybody else is. And again, you can always contact us if you haven't gotten your booster shot, and we can get you set up with a person or a provider that can to get that to you. So monkey pox. So the pox virus, which is really well known as monkey pox because it actually originated in monkeys in Africa. But I want to give a little bit of an update about that. So currently, the United States has the highest number of monkeypox cases in the world. They had approximately, as of 2 days ago, there were 27,635 cases in the country. Currently, in New Mexico, there's 51 active cases that are confirmed of monkeypox. And just to kind of like ease people's concerns, we need to understand that monkeypox is not a new virus. Like I said earlier, it actually originates in Africa. It generally spreads it spreads more in Africa than any other place, in Central and West Africa. But usually the numbers are pretty low. It was not like it was before, or like it is now, where we're having this extremely huge spike in cases of monkeypox. So that's the one concern that there is in the country, is that it is not behaving like it was behaving before. It is spreading at higher numbers than it used to, and it's spreading worldwide as opposed to just in West and Central Africa. So the way monkeypox spreads, this is just an update from what we reported before. It spreads through close personal, often skin-to-skin contact, including direct contact with the rash or scabs, because those are just kind of the primary symptoms of monkeypox. Body fluids from a person with monkeypox, touching objects like fabrics, clothing, bedding, or towels, and surfaces that have been used by someone with monkeypox. in contact with respiratory secretions. So this is where people were starting to try to equate monkeypox and how it spread with COVID. Is that a way that it can be spread is through respiratory secretions. So respiratory droplets, just like COVID, right? So that is something that obviously is difficult to accept as a country because we're still navigating the COVID-19 pandemic that has spread through respiratory droplets, and now we're dealing with this new um, um, spread of monkeypox that is also potentially spread the same way. So just wanted to kind of point that out. So symptoms of monkeypox, primarily the ones that you're going to see are a rash that are located on or near genitals. They can be in other areas like the hands, face, chest, feet, or mouth. When some people will experience fevers, chills, swollen lymph nodes, exhaustion, you can probably see where this is heading, right? So the symptoms are similar to that people reporting from COVID. So there's a lot of concern that people are missing these symptoms, but just make sure that we understand that monkeypox, the reason why it's called monkeypox is because those little pox that show on the skin are the things that you need to be concerned about most. So those little bumps, rashes, red, usually red in color, the rash is, with a little bit little pustules that are coming up on the skin that you need to be concerned about. Monkeypox usually starts within 3 weeks of exposure. So if someone has flu-like symptoms, though, they'll usually develop a rash within the 1 to 4 days after that exposure. So risk factors. So there are some, a lot of talk about monkeypox being a disease, a virus that is primarily affecting the LGBTQ population in the country. And that is where the majority of the cases are showing up. But we wanted to make sure we made clear that there are some professions that if you work in those professions where you have prolonged skin-to-skin contact with the person or frequent contact with the bedding or linen of the person, like we talked about other ways that it spread, that you might want to consider talking to your primary care physician about getting a vaccination, because monkeypox, there is a vaccine for it. So if you work in the healthcare services, doctors, nurse practitioners, anyone who has any medical position where you have prolonged skin-to-skin contact in areas where monkeypox is prevalent, you might want to consider talking to your doctor about getting vaccinated. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, if you're a massage therapist, physical therapist, if you work in a lab where you're having exposure to people's bodily fluids, if you work in a service industry like a janitorial maid services in a hotel where you're handling bedding or linen or anything like that, or if someone that is a sex worker, those are professions or things that people engage in that you may want to consider asking your doctor if you're at major risk of monkeypox. Especially Albuquerque has one of the highest numbers of that 51 active cases right now. So if you work in Albuquerque area, you might want to consider talking to your doctor about a vaccine. So again, like always, if you have questions about COVID, you can contact us on the COVID hotline, 505-2528-5986. Or you can email us at covid@sanipueblo.org. If you have more questions about monkeypox, there is a hotline that is available through the Center for Disease Control, CDC. It's up on the screen, 1-855-600-3453. You can choose option 3. It'll guide you right through the process. IHS also has a dedicated website to monkeypox for the Native American community. If they want to get more information about monkeypox, ihs.gov/monkeypox. New Mexico Department of Health also has one. You can just type in New Mexico DOH and monkeypox, and this website will pop up, and you'll be able to go on. And it will not only give you information about monkeypox and more information about how to prevent it, but also where you can contact the Department of Health for a vaccine if you are one of those categories that are at risk. So, other than that, I don't have any questions. Does any member of the team have any other comments or questions about monkeypox or COVID that you'd like to put out there before we move on to the updates? Nada? Okay. So, we've been having quite a few activities recently within the department. The different programs have been engaging in different activities. Yesterday, we had the domestic violence, or was it breast cancer or domestic violence? Breast cancer awareness walk. We didn't do domestic violence this time, I think. I don't remember. I was in here doing work in my office, so I couldn't I couldn't participate. But we had an awareness walk yesterday after work. A lot of folks participated, which is great news. We always want to get as much community involvement as we can because we want to, provide those services for all of those members. But I will stop talking and I'll let the rest of the folks provide updates for the different programs. Whoever wants to start, go ahead and chime in.
I'll go ahead and start. I just wanted to inform the community that we're still having the walks on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning at the softball and baseball field. We start at 9 o'clock. And then also we have blood pressure screening on the first and third Wednesday of every month from 8:30 to 9:30 at the governor's office. And then like Troy said, we had the breast cancer walk yesterday evening. It was a great success. I think we had probably like 30 individuals. So that's my report. And if you have any questions or any other information, you can contact me at 455-4115. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. I'm LaDawn, the public health educator. Last month we had an outdoor cooking class in Santa Fe. We took a group of individuals to Reunity Farms, and it was very successful. We got good feedback. So we have another one planned to take place next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Same place, Reunity Farms. Please contact me through email, or you can call the COVID response phone, or you can text the COVID response phone, which is at 505-252-5986. And let me know. We have about 14 individuals signed up. I would like to shoot for 25 participants. Please give me a call. Oh, and if you need transportation, please let us know as well. We have a van that will leave here at 1:20 to take over a group, and we'll be following just COVID safe protocol. And that is it for right now, I think.
Raylene, you have anything?
Good morning, San Alfonso. My name is Raylene Martinez. Updates. We had in September a Whole Foods starter dough demonstration, and we got, I think, 18 people. And so that was successful. I hope that we can bring in different people every time we have an event. And we are planning to have an event for November. However, we have not picked the date yet. So look out for that. Um, we also still have the um, gym memberships for Anytime Fitness in Los Alamos or Espanola, along with the Milwaukee Wellness Center. And so if you're interested in those, please contact myself or Victoria Martinez so that you could schedule a fitness assessment prior to you getting the actual membership. The fitness assessment takes about 20 minutes. And that's, more so for your benefit. We don't really, we save the information, but it's more so for you to see where you're at, after the first 3 months, and then you will complete the fitness assessment about every quarter. I'm sorry. And then, like Claudia mentioned, we do have the walking on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock around the baseball field. Me and Claudia are on the schedule for next month for senior health screening during the lunchtime. For you seniors that were coming to at the senior prior to COVID, you did see one of us there. And so we will continue that beginning on November 9th, and it'll be bi-weekly. So for November, it'll be November 9th and November 23rd. We also will be having our next acupuncture clinic on November 15th. And I believe it's going to be from 12 to 3. If you are interested in having acupuncture or taking advantage of the acupuncture clinic, please contact myself or Victoria Martinez for an appointment. And it'll be here at the senior center. And so this will be our third clinic. We have had a great turnout during the clinics. We see about 20 people for each clinic. And so that's exciting. Victoria also has her Tai Chi classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 o'clock at the senior center as well. Those are open to anybody. So if you're interested, please swing by and take advantage of all the things we're doing. That's it for right now.
Thanks, Raylene. Well, I'm also working on, it's still in the planning phases, but I think that it's going to it's going to be something that we are going to get started sometime within the next 30 to 60 days. And it's it's going to start as a self-defense training for members of the community. So it's going to be offered through the Health and Human Services Department as a physical fitness option. I'm still working out the details with the provider, but it is going to be something that I think will benefit everybody, not just for physical fitness, but learning ways to, with the way that things are going in the world and how people are being victimized all the time in different parts of the community. You want people to have some basic skills to be able to defend themselves if necessary. So that is something that's coming up, and hopefully I can have more information about that by next week, but keep an eye out for that. So the acupuncture date, what was that again? What date was that again, Raylene?
November 15th from 12 to 3.
Puncture event. 12 to 3. I also wanted to kind of put it out there, just in case you were not aware, that Posas is going to be opening up at Totavi soon. And since it is a Sinai, it's an SIS, location. The food is pretty good. I had some yesterday for a sample. So if you are looking for another option for lunch or for to get something to eat, look out, because it's going to be opening up. It's going to be an express. It's not going to have the same menu as the one in Santa Fe, but it is going to have a menu that you should be able to enjoy. I had the shredded pork and beans burrito, and I think one of the other community members that was there yesterday had a Frito pie, and they said it was good with red chili, of course. So, Posas, Totavi, keep an eye out. It's coming. I think next week they're supposed to open. Maybe either next week or the week after they're supposed to open. So keep an eye out. All right, members of the team, you have anything else to add before we go?
Go Yankees.
Oh gosh. Yeah, they did well, sort of. You have anything, LaDawn?
If anyone's listening, next month we're planning another cooking class. If the community has suggestions on what they want to make or what they are interested, something nutritious. It's also National Diabetes Month, Native American Heritage Month, and then also November 14th is World Diabetes Day. So something that's on the nutritious version, I'll take suggestions. Right now we're just kind of thinking about a vegetable stir fry. Raylene has some elk. We might work with that. We don't know. So suggestions are really helpful. That's all I have. Thank you.
LaDawn? Claudia, you have anything?
No.
Perfect. Well, it looks like we are ending at a time that we are hoping to end each week within 45 minutes of starting instead of going over. It is 11:37 a.m. Again, thank you all for joining us. Those of you who have joined up live, thanks for the team for participating and providing your updates. And if you, like always, if you have any comments or questions that you were not able to provide live, or if you're watching this later on, or if you want to get any more information about anything that was discussed or talked about, you can put it in the comments for either the YouTube channel or for the Facebook page, and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. So other than that, thank you all, and we will see you next week.